I don't know how loud that is. This is Zirkzank says testing, special edition testing. What am I doing? There we go. Got a lot of positive feedback the last time I did something like this, which is where I stood up and I used my camera that is in my phone. I don't know how loud that is. It's too loud. Is it too loud? Background music. You can't see it. It's this. How do I do that? If I tap on my phone, can I turn the camera around? No. Never mind. That doesn't matter anyway. As you can see, I'm in my room, which I've cleaned, sort of. I made my bed. That's nice and made. That's nice and sorted. Got another chair here. Sit in this chair. Got two chairs. It's like Lord of the Rings. Two chairs. You know, you seen that film, that book? I got that book over my bookshelf. Oh yeah, I also got that Death Note poster you can see over there. Now, I'm not a massive fan of anime anymore. I used to be. But you know, Death Note, it's not like other anime. Death Note, let me tell you, Death Note is for intelligent anime fans. No, I don't know, Death Note was good, I liked it, had a poster, had that since I was a kid, so, you know, not gonna get rid of it. It fills the wall. There's blank space, and then there's not blank space. The filled space is good. You gotta fill your room with culture. That's what I'm trying to do. Well, anyway, the main reason I'm making this video, as you might have guessed by the title, this time I have pre-titled the video before deciding to make the video. That is the discussion about Elon Musk, and in case you didn't already realize what his endgame is. Now, I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, and that doesn't change the fact that I think his endgame is... I'm going to try and address this from an objective standpoint. I think it's cool, but a lot of people are disturbed by this. And I don't know if anyone else has covered this. It's like, why am I going to research that? Why am I going to check to see if someone's already made my video? That seems like a big waste of time. Anyway, let's I'm gonna do it from here. No, I can't, because you can just see these trees there. Anyway, going back over here. This is a mobile episode. You get it? I'm being mobile because the episode is a mobile episode. It's clever. Just in case you didn't know, this guy over here, that's Elon Musk. If you search Elon Musk on Google, this is what you get. Pictures of Elon Musk. You can also it sort of explains who he is and what he's all about, but it doesn't tell you what he's trying to do. People call him like the superhero, the real life Tony Stark. I cringe every time I hear that, because Tony Stark in comparison doesn't compare. Sorry, I failed my English there, but whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing is, Elon Musk is more of a supervillain, but it depends. It's hard to read his mind because I'm not Charles Xavier, but he is the master of the long-term project. I'm the master of the short-term project. Everything I do has to take a day or less to complete, otherwise I can't do it. Whereas what this guy is doing, he's dedicating his entire life, everything he's doing, towards this one goal, his end game. And that is that he's going to take over the galaxy. But it's very interesting once you start to look at how he's built up his realm of influence, or his power. I'm going to go through his life story a little bit. It starts with PayPal. Well, it goes before PayPal. But I'm saying, like, in terms of being transparent about his objectives, starting with PayPal, you think, oh, that's just the thing that lets you buy stuff online and send money by people's email. Fair enough. You could look at it like that, or you could look at it the way he wanted it to be, which was to extend the utilities of PayPal to be able to pay your utilities in your house, pay for your gas and your electricity, use it for your insurance, that kind of thing. So that it was an all-encompassing thing that you purchase everywhere with. Like you have PayPal on your phone, which you already do, and you can go around paying for stuff. But he wanted PayPal to become recognized as the place that you go to sort out all of your finances in one simple place, which would be handy. And nobody would disagree with that. It's just that when he sold it to eBay, they took it in a different direction, which was that they didn't do fucking anything with it. So there you go. But in his mind, that was the best option, because that gave him enough money to start other companies such as Tesla and SpaceX, which, if you didn't know, I'll explain to you a little bit what Tesla and SpaceX are. Tesla, electric vehicle company, electric cars and batteries. SpaceX, rockets, reusable rockets, space pod capsule things, space suits, space going into leaving Earth. That's just leave the ability to leave Earth, the ability to launch satellites, the ability to do all of that shit. That's what SpaceX is. And electric vehicles are a little bit harder to understand, but I explained that it's a vehicle, like a car, that uses electricity to power its motor and make it move, instead of a combustion engine. So essentially what he's doing here is taking over or building an infrastructure that would allow for him to be at the top in every field. And it doesn't stop there. Now, because if you thought, all right, it's just a nice guy trying to do things, maximize his usefulness to the highest number of people, as he likes to say, if you think of an idea, put it on a graph. This is my graph, or this is the I'm not going to try and do a graph. Fuck it, but you know what I mean. Like the axis of how many people does it help, and how much does it impact their life. For him, if you can maximize both of those, so maximum impact for the highest number of people, that's your product. So that's where he's going with basically everything he does, under the guise of trying to help the world, trying to save the world, which is it's very easy to believe. I believe that in some sense, but you could take it in a little bit more sinister route, because as I've explained, Elon understands that AI, as you can see by this handy book here, this Nick Bostrom book, I would recommend this. I've read about a quarter of it, but as I do other research by watching videos while I play games, I don't need to read all of it. I probably will at some point, but this book will explain to you the dangers of AI. But for me to summarize it, yes, AI is dangerous, and no, we most likely will not be able to control AI. Elon Musk fears this, or he says he fears this. Which is why he invests so much into the company OpenAI, which is openly giving people access to preserving the open sourceness of AI. So AI is not super dangerous if everybody has control of it, because if one person has powerful AI and they have sinister motives and nobody has their own AI to combat that with, it's like the country that has nuclear weapons can make demands or just fucking destroy the countries that don't have nuclear weapons. It's the bargaining chip that everybody needs to have nukes nowadays. Everybody needs to have AI. So there can't be ever a situation where one person has AI and the rest don't. and that's artificial general intelligence as a separate issue to uh, just closed circuit AI, because any kind of AI is dangerous and powerful. I could go into that in more detail, but to keep this video short, I need to get back to the other topics. What Elon Musk's endgame is, right? So I've explained a little bit just now about he wants to be able to go to Mars. He wants electric vehicles. Why electric? Well, it's because it's good for the environment. It's yes, it's good for the environment if your environment is Mars and there is no petroleum, no oil, and no natural gas on Mars. So that's why he's got the solar panels, because they do work on Mars. You could say to Elon, why solar? Why not wind? Why not hydro? Why not fusion? Why not nuclear power? All of these work just as well, if not better. Different circumstances, different situations, different time of day. Solar won't work when it's night time. Well, that's why they've got batteries. So you overcharge, get more electricity during the day that you're going to use during the day, store it in batteries and use it overnight, keep the cycle going. That's why you got the Tesla Powerwalls. Everybody's house have a Powerwall in it. Everybody's house have Tesla solar tiles on them. And everybody use the Tesla car with self-driving car. Just have the Tesla household, so that everything that you do relies on the Tesla products. That kind of gives him a monopoly over people's lives, which, if you included the sort of the PayPal thing as well, so he controls your money, he controls your electricity, he controls your transport, and once SpaceX becomes the interplanetary carrying system that it's going to become, as he says, then you use SpaceX for your flight as well. Now let's get on to Hyperloop and the Boring Company, which are once again some more very subtle, but not too subtle because I've sussed it out. Boring Company, why do you need to be digging underground? Well, it's very clever. He says it's because in cities there's so much space underground that you could be using on like infinite number of layers downwards to decrease the amount of traffic on the surface by putting the traffic underneath, so that there are multiple layers of different people going different routes to get to different places underground with their cars. So the Boring Company is making it cheap to dig holes, because digging holes and reinforcing holes is expensive. He wants to cut the cost of that. Similarly, that's what he's been doing with SpaceX and with Tesla, just reducing the cost and increasing making them better and cheaper, so that more people will use all the stuff. But the other thing about digging underground is that it's going to be necessary on Mars, which is where he wants to set up his headquarters. See, on Mars, when you get there, you can't breathe. It's a big problem. There's no oxygen, and it's very cold, and it's not a great environment. It doesn't matter that much, because if you can dig underground, you protect it from the dangerous radiation. You can you basically find underground lakes, frozen lakes. It's something that is very necessary for survival on Mars. So he's going to need to have these boring robots underground on Mars. So solar panels as well. No fossil fuels on Mars, but solar panels to power your boring company, to power underground tunnels on Mars. Then, in addition to that, you're going to have the Hyperloops, because Hyperloop is designed so that these pods in tubes underground or above ground. They say above ground because they want it to be easily expandable and easily installable. But this is once again making vacuum tubes. It's much easier to do this on Mars. So he's basically doing all his prototyping, his testing, his R&D. That's research and development on research and design. Doesn't matter. Research, trial and error, doing that all on Earth before transferring it all to Mars. So when he controls the AI, the transport with the Hyperloop, that he can dig underground to stay safe and build up his armies of robots under the surface of Mars. Got electric vehicles that are self-driving, self-automated. The machinery. This is a big one that people don't quite realize about the Gigafactory. That it's the most efficient and high-speed production that's fully automated of anything in the world. The Tesla Gigafactory is the largest footprint building in the world, or the second largest. And inside of the factory where they make the batteries, there is just an army of robots, but you could call it like a single entity, like a coral reef or something, where it's like each thing in there is dependent of the other. And they produce batteries. Raw materials go in, and then batteries come out of one system at high speed, high efficiency, low cost, automated robots that do this. So you try and tell me Elon Musk isn't trying to take over the galaxy. He's doing this all just because he's a nice guy. I mean, come on. I admire him, and I'm not any less of a what do you say, enthusiast. But I'm just saying, like, don't kid yourself about his motives. He wants to take over the world. He wants to conquer Mars. He wants to become the ruler of the galaxy, and why the fuck not? Who wouldn't? That's cool. That's badass. But just so you know, the Elon Musk Endgame. Just own everything that people need. Eventually, though, right? I've explained to you the basis now that he's at. I didn't explain the part where he starts harvesting asteroids for valuable resources to build his Dyson sphere, but it would just be called the Musk Ball. Put his Musk Ball around our sun, and then he owns the sun as well. He's gonna start by owning the solar system, then he's gonna expand to different star systems. There won't be any end to it. He's gonna get there first, unless China beats him. But let's be honest: do you want Elon Musk to do it first, or do you want China to do it first, or India? They have a space program. I can't make jokes about that because I'm living in Europe and our space program sucks. But just think about it: of anyone who has the power to conquer the Milky Way, it's Musk so far. The Musk Way. He's going to rename it to the Musk Way at some point. I'm looking forward to it, I guess, because he's obviously a hard-working guy. I mean, if he's dedicating his entire life to this, and I can't even make a video any longer than an hour, or 20 minutes in this case, you know, props to the ruler of the galaxy, really. I'll serve under that, as you have to, otherwise you die. But yeah, that's the future for us, guys. And you're welcome for. I mean, you can say you didn't know, or you did know, you just didn't think it was going to happen. But I'm afraid it is. If that's not what you're looking forward to, I can't really help. But just Just trying to praise Musk, you know, do the Musk praise thing. I can't do it with this hand. This shit. Thanks for watching, and thanks for making the galaxy great again, Musk.